Once upon a time, on a busy corner in a busy town, a little black-eyed monkey named Bunky danced to the tune of a hand organ. Every day on the busy corner, Bunky watched people hurrying by. Streetcars jangling and taxis honking. The more he saw of it, the more he wondered where everybody was going and what the rest of the world looked like. Finally, he wondered so much that he made up these words about it. I want to see the great big world. I doodly-doody-doo. The hand organ was played by old Antoinette, the gypsy. Old Antoinette, who always wore a black apron, a red kerchief, and gold earrings. She had bought Bunky from a dingy pet shop a long time ago. She had made him a purple coat and a gay green hat with a feather in it. She had taught him to dance for nickels and dimes and to tip his hat to everybody he met. Antoinette and the hand organ and Bunky lived in a trailer on an empty lot. It was a very poor neighborhood, but their tiny kitchen was neat as a pin, and they found life ever so pleasant. They sat out by the steps together on summer nights while the moon came up and the stars came out, and the night boat going under the river bridge blew its long, low whistle. Then, when it was bedtime, Antoinette would tuck Bunky into his basket. Her face was wrinkled, her shoes were shabby, but her eyes were always warm and tender when she said, "Good night, little Bunky. I would be very lonely without you." Then would come another day, and they would be out on the busy corner again, Bunky dancing and tipping his hat to everybody. Little did old Antoinette guess that all the while he was saying to himself, "I want to see the great big world. I doodly-doody-doo." Finally, our little black-eyed monkey decided that he would really watch for a chance to get away and take a look at that great big world. It never occurred to him to wonder what old Antoinette would do without him. He forgot all about how good she had been to him. One afternoon, when she was very tired and sat down beside the newsstand to take a nap, along came a nursemaid wheeling a carriage which had no baby in it because the baby had been left with its granny. Now, if I were in that baby carriage, thought Bunky, I would soon be on my way. Here was his chance. He slipped out from under Antoinette's arm. He quickly got himself over the side of the baby carriage. He pulled the baby's lace cap over his own green hat and wriggled under the coverlet. They crossed the street, turned into the square, into the avenue, into the parkway before the nurse discovered what sort of baby she was wheeling. Then she shouted a shout to the policeman on the corner, who came a-running, and in 1 second, Bunky, scared to pieces, tumbled out of that carriage to disappear like magic. When our little monkey came cautiously back into sight, he was a block away upon a roof. Below in the alley, he saw a truck filled with groceries, a new chance for escape. Down the eave spout went Bunky. But dear me, my, what he didn't see was a certain chocolate pie on a certain kitchen windowsill. Whoosh, plopped Bunky straight into the pie. Shrieks from the cook. A whistle from the panting policeman. But in the truck which moved along down the alley, our monkey came safely out from under a peck of potatoes to push back the lace cap falling over one eye and to dig chocolate out of his ears as he said, though perhaps not quite as gaily as before, "I want to see the great big world. I doodly-doody-doo." The truck belonged to Farmer Meadowbrook. Away it went to the highway and on for miles and miles. At home on the farm were 3 children, Molly, Maggie, and Mike. "A monkey," they shouted when they found Bunky in their daddy's truck. Farmer Meadowbrook was as surprised as they. "Haven't the slightest idea where it came from," he declared. In the house, the children put Bunky on a kitchen chair. He was sticky and tired and hungry and lame. Mike threw marbles at him. Maggie gave him an apple, then snatched it away. Molly made him get down and walk around while everybody poked fun at him. But even then, our determined little monkey was still thinking, "I want to see the great big world. I doodle-dee-doo-dee-doo." The teasing and shouting went on for quite a while. Then someone opened the door, and lickety-scoot, rooty-toot, out went Bunky. Hearing the children coming after him, he ran for the highest thing he could see, which was the windmill. Up he went to the very tip-top. "Howdy, friend," drawled Old Man Windmill. "Glad to see you, but I'm afraid you won't stay long when the wind starts blowing, and here it comes right now." The windmill's arms began to turn. Faster and faster they spun as the wind came whipping across the cornfield, Bunky holding on for dear life, coattails flying, one hand grasping his little green hat. He was certainly glad when things slowed down so that he could begin climbing to the ground. But where did he land? Right in the middle of a billy goat pen. Down went Mr. Billy Goat's head, and zoom went Bunky straight over a haystack and plunk into the rain barrel under the kitchen roof. The highest, fastest ride he had ever had, and with the wettest ending. He pulled himself out of the water, as sad a little monkey as you ever saw. Not only was he wet and weary, but the sun had gone down. Night was already gathering. And suddenly his mind filled with just one thought, a great longing for Antoinette. Oh, how he wished for her. Now he knew that no matter how big or how exciting the world may be, only one thing is important. Somebody to love you, to look at you tenderly, and to tuck you in at night. But as he thought about it, his heart almost stopped beating because he also realized that he had no idea how to find her. He didn't know where he had come from, nor how to get back. Perhaps he would never see old Antoinette again. And now it wasn't rainwater that made his cheeks so wet. It was a flood of great big tears. Then, at that very moment, he heard something to make him sit up and listen as he had never listened before. In the kitchen, Farmer Meadowbrook was whistling. He was whistling the tune of Antoinette's hand organ. "Oh, if only I could tell them," said poor little Bunky to himself. And then he thought of a way. In his wet purple coat and limp green hat, he came out from behind the rain barrel, went to the kitchen porch, and getting together all the courage he had left, he began dancing on the doorstep. "Look," shouted the children, "here's the monkey. He's dancing. He must belong to the old gypsy who plays that tune on her hand organ." And then for Bunky, every star in the sky turned to diamonds. For the farmer said, "I do believe you're right. Tomorrow we'll take you back to her." Well, when tomorrow finally came, they did indeed take Bunky back. And did that black-eyed monkey leap into Antoinette's arms? Well, I should say so. Antoinette, laughing and crying all at once, said, "Oh, my dear little Bunky, I was so lonely without you." "I know," said Bunky, with a very big sigh, tucking his head into her shoulder and picturing how they would sit together outside their little trailer tonight. "I want to go home from the great big world."
I doodly-doody-doo.